Hey everybody, just a really quick video on how to work out the gradient between 2 points. Okay, there's a relatively straightforward kind of idea with this one. It comes in relation to another lesson in relation to finding an equation of a line and trying to find the gradient from 2 points. But it's a really kind of quick one, so I'll make it as quick as I can. All right, so gradient essentially is how steep a line is. So if you've got two coordinates which appear somewhere on a Cartesian grid or on an XY plane, then the easier way to kind of find how steep something is trying to find the difference in the two y values and then the difference to the x values. All right, and you'll see the formula given a little bit like this. So your gradient is your difference between your two y values, y2 minus y1. All right, so don't worry too much about this notation. It's just the difference between the two, those two, and then divided by the difference in the x values. And it has to be, x, it has to be y2, y1, and x2, x1. So you need to be consistent with which way around it. So you could label this x2, y2, and x1, y1. Doesn't make any difference, but as long as you're consistent. So when I do this one, take away this one, I have to do this one, take away this one. All right. So let's look at a brief example. So find the gradient of the line joining the points at 2, 3, and 4, 11. Right. So I'm going to do the y take away the other y first, so y2 minus y1. So in terms of which one I do first, well, to make my life an awful lot easier, I'm going to take the bigger y value and take that one away from it. All right, because that's going to just be a lot easier than doing 3 take away 11 and deal with negatives. All right, so 11 take away 3 is going to be at the top, and then because I started with this one, I also need to do 4 take away 2 at the bottom. All right, so let's write those kind of things in there. Oh, there you go. So 11 take away 3 divided by 4, take away 2. All right, so what they've done here, you can see they've literally labelled them all out. Don't think you necessarily need to do all that kind of stuff. I think as long as you're kind of familiar with this, and that's what you're figuring out, then we're okay. So 11 take away 3 is going to give me 8, and 4 take away 2 is going to be 2. And of course, simplifying it, 8 divided by 2, of course, is 4. All right, so the gradient, m, and again, if you're not quite sure why we're calling it m, that relates to equation of a straight line taking the form of y equals mx plus c. So m is determined as being the gradient. All right, it's quite normal. You'll come across that all over the place. All right, so the gradient is 4. All right, and that's it, essentially. If you need the practice on this, if you're not quite sure, you want to kind of revisit it, please go to maths-school.co.uk. The link is at the bottom of the page, and of course there are a bunch of questions on there for you to have a practice on. All right, thanks for listening.